All right. All right, so now what's only thing that's missing here is we're missing the total. So you always add in a total row and a total column. Okay. So it says a survey finds that 110 people ate breakfast. That's down here at the bottom. That's divided among between tired and not tired.
Right.
30 people skipped breakfast. That's again down here. Of those who skipped breakfast, 10 people felt tired. So could you kind of tell me where that goes in this or block here? Like top left, top right,
So,
bottom left, bottom right.
it was the top left.
Okay, so of those who skipped.
Oh, skips. Sorry, I thought you were looking at who ate. The skip would be on the under the skipped and on the right, so in the middle, top middle.
So this one or this?
The top one.
Okay. Yes. Now you actually answered. I mean, they're both 10.
Yeah.
But not always the same. So how do
Right.
we fill in these middle two numbers? And it comes from the total. The two numbers have to add up to
110, 30. So yeah, then 20.
good. And then your row total, you're adding up horizontally, 20, 120. And your what I call the super total, grand total maybe is what you see in a book, or the total is that comes from either adding horizontally or vertically. They have to be the same, which they are here. Like they have to be consistent. So these are the frequencies.
Right.
Okay, not to be confused with relative frequencies. These are the frequencies. These are the literal counts. Is that okay?
Yes.
Cool. So we've got conditional relative frequencies. It says to see example 3. Whenever you see that in a textbook, that almost means that the problem is exactly the same as the one that they're giving you. Like if you go to that, if you go to that problem there, this is just a side note, is like how to study is you actually can go and get go look at the examples, probably pretty similar. But the key thing here is to make the table. Like sometimes the table's given. If you notice in the next problems, like 13, the problem's given, or table's given, 14 it's given, 15 it's given. But there is some work here to be done for that. So
Right.
we've done that, feel really good about that. But it's like now like this business about conditional relative frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what does that mean? So I'm stumbling here a little bit because what I don't know is whether you're supposed to go by row or by column. And they tell you that here. It says based on the breakfast totals. So that's the 8 and the skipped.
Right.
So they're saying that like because it's kind of unclear whether it's the tired or not tired. But now, and I'll show you this in fraction form, and then we can calculate decimals if we need to. Actually, that's too big. We don't need all that. All right. So the 8, the conditional of the 8 total is 10 out of 110. The not is 100 out of 110. And you might ask again, like, well, why isn't it 100 out of 120? It's because it says based on the breakfast totals. The breakfast totals, like breakfast is up here as a category.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay? Clear?
Yes.
And then you actually do the last one as well, which is out of 110, which is 1. Move to the other column. Now it's out of the 30, 10 out of 30, 20 out of 30, 30 out of 30. And then you do go to your calculator and get a decimal if you want.
Yes.
This is okay though, as is.
Okay.
All right. I mean, that's kind of it for question 11.
Yeah.
Any questions, thoughts on that?
No, I think I'm good on that one.
Okay. All right, next question here is 12. So 12 actually refers to 10, which I do not have. Can you quickly send over 10? Will take you a bit of time to do that.
Yeah.
It's always fun when textbooks do this. Yeah.
I know.
You're like, why don't you just make it? Why don't you just ask it in 10?
I know. It's like referring back to like the 2 pages ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let me go back to your email. Okay, it should be sent.
All right, looks like something came in here.
Yeah, I think it should have sent.
All right. So we got to make another table again.
Oh, great.
All right, yeah. Here we go. All right, so we first make the table here in 10, and then we can do this. Okay, in a survey, 49 people received a flu vaccine before the flu season, and 63 people did not. So kind of the first branching I see here is flu vaccine, and then not. I'm very consistent with always doing like the thing and then the not on the right. That's kind of important for future sections in this book. You may want to be consistent with that. Of those who received the flu vaccine got the flu. So this is the flu now, not the flu vaccine, and then the not flu, and then not. So just like before, you have to kind of decide, like, is it vaccine up here and flu over here on the left, or is it flipped? Meaning, like, what do you see it as?
I see the flu on top and then the
Okay. So so vaccine on the left, yes, basically it's a yes, no
yeah.
scenario here. And then on the top here, it's yes, no, but it's got the flu. Okay. So what I'd like you to try to do here is fill in as much of this as you can on your own. And then I will come in and confirm what you've got there.
Okay, let me just fill out. Okay, so with the 49, so like whenever it says 49 people received a flu vaccine, that would be on like the corner left.
So the top is got the flu or did not get the flu. The left is the vaccine. So 49 people received the flu vaccine is right there. I heard something a little bit different.
Oh, okay.
And it's good that you asked, because maybe you see now, okay, yes, 49 people got the vaccine.
And then 63 would be right below it.
Exactly. Yep.
And then of those who received the flu vaccine, 16 people. So that would be the top one where it says yes, 16. And then who did not receive the vaccine, 17 got the flu. So then that would be 17 right below it. And then 49 minus 16 is 33. And then 46, or 40, yeah, 46. Oh, so now we have to figure out.
Yes. Yes. And I like your thinking. You're like, okay, now I got to figure this out. I like the progression is really good.
So then the total people would be 49 plus 63.
Yes.
So then that would be 111 or 112. So then, oh, okay, so then the bottom one would be 112 minus 33.
Yeah. And I would actually go do the no first rather than working with the bigger numbers.
So the middle one would be 33.
Yes, 33.
And then the other one would be 46. Yeah. And then that would be 79.
Yes. Good. Now, before, like that's the two-way table of the frequencies. If you haven't seen this in class, there's these joint, marginal, all this stuff. Don't pay too much attention to that for the moment. Let's go back and look at your question that you were asked here, which is the relative frequencies based on the flu vaccine totals. So the flu vaccine totals are here and here. Okay, so let's do that here. And it's good to kind of redraw at least the part that you need here, which is the horizontal this time. So it's the row totals that matter now. And the reason, again, it's row totals is because it tells us in words that it's the flu vaccine totals. This on the right here are the flu vaccine totals. If it said got the flu totals, we would use the column totals. Give me some feedback if you can, if it's good, bad, indifferent.
Good, yeah, okay.
Okay. So this is 16 over 49, 33 over 49, 49 over 49.
Yeah. Okay. And And it'd be 17 over 63.
Yes, good.
Okay.
I mean, you can grab a calculator if you need to and get those numbers. Let me know if that's clear. We can move on to 13A.
Yes, we're
And if
good.
let me just look in the chat again. 13. I mean, we're not moving super fast through this. I mean, if you did want to cut out early, let me know. I can go a little faster, or I can also just leave some. But you're the customer. You let me know here. I've not brought in like the preamble, what I call the prompt. All this kind of initial information here. Do you have a calculator handy?
Mm-hmm.
Will you add all these numbers up for us? Let me know what you come up with.
Yes. So all of them?
Yes, please.
.999.
So basically 1.
Yes.
Do you agree? Yeah, and that's something you check just to make sure, because that's what it's supposed to be. So now we can answer some questions here. What is the probability that a randomly selected patient located in Saratoga? So when they say located in Saratoga, in this case, they are saying your whole world is just Saratoga. Just Saratoga, okay? You don't care about any of the others. Is that clear?
Yes.
Now, if you're in Saratoga now, we care about was satisfied with communication. So what is the number that corresponds to was satisfied? And we assume that that's a yes, I guess, right? I mean, maybe it's up in the top.
Right.
So it's the 0.288, okay? But because we're just in Saratoga, we really need this total down here, which we're not given.
Right.
So the total is 0.288 plus 0.077.
Yes.
So you could, like I said before, you could add the row totals and the column totals. It just depends on like whether you think you're going to need them or not. Now, I can't say for sure, per problem, but if you want to calculate that, you can. It is like, it's kind of like one of those things where it's a little different. You don't need to simplify any of these, like they should accept this, but since you have calculator, maybe you do that here.
Yes, I can do that.
Just a side note. Oh no, sorry, that's something else. Side note is putting that in the calculator, make sure you put parentheses in the bottom where it will give you something that you don't expect.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, 0.077. I got 0.789.
Okay. Great. All right. Now for part B, I've re-snipped the table because it's good to kind of see this in stages here. It says, what is the probability that a randomly selected patient who is not satisfied? So not satisfied, that is this row. So your whole world, all you care about is not satisfied. So this whole idea of like conditional probability, maybe you heard that word in class. The condition, whatever the condition is, like that restricts your domain. It's I'm looking for all the prom dresses that are blue. So they got to be blue. And then you start looking at them,
Yes.
or whatever color you picked. Hopefully,
Yeah.
I don't know what you picked, but that's the kind of idea.
Yeah.
So we are not satisfied here. And then we're looking for those that are located in Glen Falls. So that is just the Glen Falls 0.0042, but we need the total. The total 0.0042 plus 0.077 plus 0.131. Grab my calculator here. Don't have it up.
That's what I got too.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So look at the next one here. I grab the table again one more time. Grab part C.
Oh, I actually think. Wait, let me look at what he said to do again. I think it was only A and B.
Yeah, that makes sense because independence is a more complicated thing that
Yeah, it
you
was
guys are.
A and B.
All right,
Same
good.
for number 14.
Okay. All right. So good news here is 14 is a lot like 13. Letter A is restricting you to a row or a column. Okay. So I'd like you to read this and tell me whether you're restricted to a row or a column, please.
What do you mean by like a row or a column?
All right, good question. So in this problem here, we were restricted to a row. The
Oh, okay.
conditional was a row. In this previous one, it was a column. Like we only care about if you're in Saratoga. We only care about blue prom dresses.
Right.
So that, and it's all based on the wording. It's all based on your interpretation of that.
Okay, so what is so it would be a row.
Okay, what is the row?
The Nebraska, yes, Nebraska.
So I think you meant column.
Oh, column, yes.
That's a column.
Okay.
Column, you think of architecture, they go, they got
Right.
decorative designs on them or whatever. Okay, so to answer the rest of it, you got to decide whether they want the yes or the no, and then divide by the total. Okay, so go ahead and decide that and do the calculation here. And I believe, yeah, I think it's pretty intuitive here. I'll let you just try that out.
So then you would do 0.044 over 0.044 plus 0.0 or 0.400.
Yes, completely correct. Yeah. Okay, so let me know when you get that number.
Okay, I got 0.099.
Yes, very good. All right, so let's look at the next one here, snipping the table again. I mean, these are somewhat predictable. It's like one's a row, one's a column typically, but we'll see here. Oops, that's not the right spot. All right, so here's an. All right, so again, kind of same deal here is like, is it restricting you, limiting you to a row or a column?
It would be a column,
Okay, what is the column?
the North Carolina one.
So this one says who does not plan to stay in his or her home. Does not plan to stay in his or her home. That's the restriction.
Yeah.
So that's this row here.
Uh,
All right, and this is a common, this is why I'm asking. This is the common thing that students struggle with is so it's typically like the first part of it. I'm not sure what that is in our English language, you know, that's the first clause or something. That's what generally restricts you. And you know, because I've got this copied over and over again, I can cross out the other one. But that's really what you want to do. You want to look at it's either a row or a column. And go from there. So those that live in North Carolina, what number is that we're looking for here? Which numbers are we going to use?
0.193.
Okay. And what are you going to divide that by?
That plus all of them
Yes.
on the bottom.
Let's go ahead and do that. Maybe round to like 3 decimal places.
I got 0.227.
Good. Yes. All right.
And I think that's pretty good because the other ones he said he was gonna kind of go over.
Sure.
So but yeah, it was just a really weird week last week, so we didn't really do much. This was kind of it.
I get that. I mean, the nice thing here, let me just stop the recording.